Here comes the rundown.
Welcome to the Success 101 podcast. This is your host, Jarrod Warren. Thanks for joining me here today. Now let's kick things off.
What's happened since the last time we got together?
I got a haircut. So as promised, I'm showing up to episode 2 with less of me per square inch.
Well, no, I thought you said it was going to be less of you, like your body.
No, I just said there was going to be less of me per square inch.
Oh,
and so I went and got a haircut, got rid of a lot of it.
The listeners are so deceived.
No, because I've also been eating healthier, and working out and doing that.
And doing that.
You
know, that reminds me of that John F. Kennedy quote that I love.
I know which one you're talking about.
The one that says, "We choose to go to the moon and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard." What were the other things
so
in that
vague.
quote?
Do you think he's intentionally vague there because he lost track, or?
We choose to go to the moon and do the other things.
I never noticed that until when you pointed it out that one time, and it cracked me up because I've heard that a million times.
I'm going to start using that as my goal, kind of my lead off for when someone says, "Hey man, what are your goals for the new year? Where are you going to crush it?" I'm going to say, "I'm going to eat less food and do the other things." Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
I would support you. I'd vote for you. So, yep.
I'm just disappointed that, less square inches of you just means you got a haircut.
Well, it's not all it means. It's just, I made a commitment and I showed up with less per square inch. That's immediately noticeable.
Yeah, I think you look great.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You look awesome. Guys, this podcast is brought to you by the Human Charger. It's called the Sun in Your Pocket. You throw these white light with blue infused light. Let that sink in for a moment.
White light, blue infused light. That's a tongue
LED
twister.
earbuds into your ears, or you can actually stick them up your nose, but that looks kind of goofy.
Is that what I was doing wrong?
When you put these earbuds in your ears, listen, guys, it gives your brain the same perception as looking at the sun because the photoreceptor proteins on your brain capture that light. It's the exact same spectrum as the sun. Cool thing is you don't have to put your eyes out trying to do it.
Well, I was going to say it's a good thing because I've tried looking at the sun to get my energy, and it doesn't work the way you'd think it would. I mean, I got tons of energy. I just don't know what to do with it because I can't see where I'm going.
Yeah, you got tons of energy and you're blind.
That's right.
That's really not what we're going for here. So here's the thing. For you guys listening up north who don't get as much sun, or for people in office environments like we are each day, where you're just not getting a lot of sun. I know for me, Beau, I can maybe sometimes speak for you. You're up before the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get home after the sun's down, especially during this time of year. And it's great to have these because your brain needs that sun. It needs to reset its circadian rhythms of when you get up and when you go down. And this is an easy way to do it. So head over to success101podcast.com/human charger. When you get to the checkout section, you're going to put in
Success 101.
Success 101. You're going to get 20% off of this device. And I cannot wait to hear from you guys that go and get it. Secondly, this show is brought to you by Ample. And it's not just your natural meal replacement drink. There's stuff here, guys, that if you went to your local market or even went to Amazon, you can't find. That has a ton of ingredients. I want you guys to go to success101podcast.com/ample. That's AMPLE. Order your 400 or 600 calorie shake. Get fueled up, both your brain and your body, to get the day kicked off. And you're going to enter in Success 101 to get 15% off your order. And Ample has been a game changer for so many of you out there. And I can't wait to hear new people who go out there and try it because the comments are always awesome.
An ample a day keeps the doctor away.
You actually could say that. Guys, welcome back to the Rundown. First, I want to mention that the Success 101 podcast has been named the fastest growing peak performance podcast in the nation. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google+, YouTube, and a ton of social media platforms. We try to stay as neutral as Switzerland on this stuff. Don't pull us off sides.
Agreed.
But what we can talk about is what's going on in politics with Trump. And he recently, just this week, had his medical exam, the big medical exam that everyone, especially the Democrats, were waiting on. So
everyone
they could prove
was gearing up for
that
this.
He was a loony. And what he did was he asked his doctor, the White House doctor that spends several minutes a day with him and has been around him since he won the election. he had him put him through a stronger and stricter cognitive test and a physical test than he normally would just for a routine test. Let's play this clip for you guys from Fox News where they're gearing up and talking about the results of this test.
It almost sounded like the mainstream media was disappointed when they couldn't get the president's doctor to say he wasn't in good health physically and mentally. So the president's doctor came out and gave the guy a clean bill of health, Greg. And as you've said, this is the most transparent president ever. And the fact that they gave specific details about his diet, his exercise, even his mental faculties makes you think, God, what else is there to know?
The best part of this press conference were reporters. Have you ever seen a reporter's diet? Have you ever seen a reporter exercise? You saw that disheveled mess in the back. I can't think of his name. It's some guy.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Exactly. His hair's all over. He was asking about cholesterol. That guy inhales cholesterol. They have the health of a hobo. Trump, you have to understand, I think a lot of young people don't get this. He's your old school uncle. There's no Pilates. There's no meditation. There's no organic kale. He eats what's in front of him, usually covered in ketchup. But then he's healthier than a yoga instructor because he's healthy like a bull as opposed to healthy like a ballet dancer. It's like old school health. He might be like this forever, but then he might drop.
So he eats whatever he wants, and he doesn't exercise except when he plays golf, Kimberly. But he doesn't smoke tobacco, never has, and doesn't drink. And the doctor actually says that if he hadn't eaten all this McDonald's his whole life, he could have been 200 years old.
I have a couple questions.
You first.
Right here. You got health of a hobo.
Have you ever seen the diet of a journalist?
I have not.
If you saw the people in the press conference that I saw that were grilling the doctor about Trump's health and the way they all looked, they may not have should have been talking.
Health of a hobo is now my favorite way to describe people in certain situations.
Just reporters. And also, not only health of a hobo, but that guy breathes cholesterol.
Yes. And also, according to our episode that came out last week, Trump eats a lot of McDonald's, and apparently that didn't really show up anywhere, I guess, on his medical screening that it was that bad. Or is it that he ingests a bunch of McDonald's, so now he's healthy like a bull?
Whether you like him, whether you don't like him, this guy is not the average. He's 71 years old, eats McDonald's in bed, drinks 11 Diet Cokes a day. Okay. And passed with flying colors. He even made the doctor go through a more strict cognitive test than what the doctor was going to perform, just so that he could report to the American people that he's pretty smart.
What's a more strict cognitive test? Is harder questions or no lying this time, I mean it?
Now, here's what I don't know. The guy scores really smart on all of his cognitive stuff. He scores with super high-flying marks on all of his health stuff.
Well, not only that, but he had old school health, apparently, according to that recording. Old school health.
Old school health.
What is old school health? Is that I smoke 100 cigarettes a day, but I'm still good enough to come out and run a marathon?
That's what he said. He's strong as a bull, not a ballerina.
Right. Trump's not a ballerina.
Well, it's just there's two different levels of fitness there.
Okay, you're either a ballerina or you're a bull. Who are you, America?
So if you're questioning Trump's cognitive health, I think we've had it answered by the White House staff that the guy's pretty smart, which I've said all along. Now, what I don't know about is his psychological health.
Right.
When he gets behind his Twitter account and starts flying off at the world, literally.
His inability to filter.
What's going on there?
Just filter. Just add a layer of accountability in there.
Because for all of the incredible marks he got on his physical that he just had and wanted to make that known to the world, I don't know, man. There's something going on there that I can't explain.
Jarrod, are you a ballerina or a bull?
Mess with the bull, you get the horn. I want to know when Trump will own his own cryptocurrency. The symbol could be TMP for Trump, or it could be GNS for genius.
TMP, what? GNS?
The trading code.
Right.
Here we go. Let's get into the show, and let's start off with basketball.
I'm going to move over to Lithuania, where the controversial Ball family made their professional debut. The first time LiAngelo and LaMelo Ball had ever played professional basketball. Guess what? It did not go well. LiAngelo played 9 minutes. Melo played about just over 5 minutes. They combined to score 0 points and went 0 for 7 from the field. You'll never believe this, Jalen Rose. But LaVar Ball was critical of the coaches after the game, saying that they need to play my boys at the same time. Jalen, I predict that the Ball family will be back on American soil by Valentine's Day. How long do you think this experiment will last in Lithuania?
We felt individually different times, but we acknowledged that we didn't think this was going to happen the entire season, and that's obvious. Yeah. I like your Valentine's Day pick because here's the deal. Once you decide to go play professional basketball in Lithuania for a coach that can't speak English, for a team that can barely find somewhere to consistently practice, and sometimes has issue meeting payroll.
Financial requirements, yep.
Here's what's going to happen. They're going to show up and be so upset with the team when they're not getting paid to play. Yep. And so LaVar now is going to have to get in front of A, they're not balling and putting up numbers.
No, they're not.
B, I'm not at Laker games. I'm over here. We're in Lithuania right now. When I could be Big Baller Brandon in the United States. I think this experiment is going to go poorly overall. And like you, feel like they'll be back home sooner than expected.
So for those of you who don't know, LaVar Ball is the father of LiAngelo Ball, LaMelo Ball, and Lonzo Ball, who plays for the Lakers. So you've got LaMelo that's playing at, or was playing at UCLA. Mm-hmm. They go to China to play some exhibition games.
China.
They get caught shoplifting. They get thrown in Chinese prison for like a week.
I wonder what that's like.
Trump, God, how does everything tie back to Trump?
It's like we're trying to talk
plan this out. No. Trump has to send negotiations and calls and letters to get them out of prison because they're like, hey, they're not going to get out anytime soon. 3 different UCLA players, they fly home. When they get back, UCLA puts a restriction on them that basically says, we're not sure when you're going to play again. It's an indefinite suspension. LaVar Ball, being the guy that he is.
I bet he was really chill and cool about the whole situation.
Yeah.
Right? Super reasonable.
So
no
chill and cool.
Right.
That he pulled somebody. He pulled LaMelo out of school and said, I'm going to send you and your brother, who's in high school, by the way, to Lithuania to play in the Lithuanian League and prepare for the NBA. Well, we're just going to skip everything. When something this big happens, you know SNL has to weigh in on it.
This week, 1.6 million people watched on Facebook as LaVar Ball's sons, LiAngelo and LaMelo, made their debut for a basketball team in Lithuania. Here to comment is LaVar Ball.
Triple B. How you doing, Michael?
Well,
Me? I'm magnificent.
You're in a good mood.
Why shouldn't I be? I'm an internet sensation. I'm a multi-billionaire.
All right, you're not.
I own 16 Toyota Corollas. And I'm the only man in history to out-pizza the Hut. Never lost.
And you just got back from Lithuania.
You're damn right. I flew all the way. Business economy. Middle seat. 1 hotel room to share. The only hotel in Lithuania that's in the back of a soup restaurant. Never not smell like cabbage. Never not the cabbage.
Never not the cabbage. So just to be clear, you took 19-year-old LiAngelo out of college and 16-year-old LaMelo out of high school to play Eastern Europe basketball. I mean, were they okay with that?
Man, they living the dream, Michael. I told them, pack up your things. We moving up. I'm taking you out of this dump called Los Angeles, and we going to Prenu Vatatis, where the forecast is always a crisp -2 degrees Celsius and 100% chance of freezing rain. Never dry. Never dry.
And you think the Lithuanian League is good training to play in the NBA?
Absolutely. I love the Lithuanian League. All white teammates. Nobody above 140 pounds.
Oh, man.
Vitamin deficiencies. Soft teeth. All layups. No dunks. Perfect training for the NBA. I love it. Every night, the crowd of 61 people just goes wild, cheering and waving wooden spoons in the air.
All right, but your big baller company has been having some problems lately. I saw you got an F from the Better Business Bureau.
Man, don't you talk to me about no Better Business F rating bureau. I told my kids the F stands for phenomenal. And yes, my kids are homeschooled. Never taught it.
You know, word is you're getting a lot of complaints from customers.
Well, that don't matter, because I just launched the first big baller product in Lithuania, and it's selling millions, fresh from the wild streets of Vilnius. It's called Beats by LaVar.
Oh, so they're headphones.
No, they just beats from the ground with the roots still on. They so baller, they make your dookie redder than Santa Claus.
So they go over. They don't score any points. But LaVar, of course, has some critical feedback for the coach and
I'm
says,
sure that
my boys
he
should have both played at the same time.
Oh, so he wasn't very like, you know, oh, they should have played better. I brought them to this league. You know, they should be performing better.
Oh, of course not.
Oh,
of course not. All right, let's get into the meat of the podcast today, and that is the league above all leagues, which is the National Football League, which we're holding on to here for another couple of weeks. Did you see the Minnesota Vikings final play against the Nolans Saints?
The Nolans Saints.
Which means you also saw the infamous Marcus Williams play.
Man, and I've seen all of the videos where people are like superimposing him over other things and like, you know, getting him matched up.
It's incredible. If you guys haven't seen the memes they're putting out there where he's speed skating, he's sliding across the floor with Tom Cruise in Risky Business.
It's amazing.
There are so many memes going on out there. He's getting dropped by Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know, guys, what that was, but that was not a professional football player tackling and making any sort of an attempt on a game-winning save.
Man, and he has been probably like, he's also, I saw a stat out there, and I'm not going to quote it right now because I can't remember the numbers, but he has been one of the more consistent defensive players out there too, as far as like open field tackles go.
They did have a parade when they flew back into New Orleans. They had a parade where people were like standing out there with signs and stuff.
A lot of awesome fans out there.
But I also saw a lot of people ripping their TVs off the wall in New Orleans and throwing them out the window.
Which, when it comes to playoff season, who's not Googling, you know, the videos for whoever just lost and the fans and their reactions? It's just the best. It's just so great.
Oh, it's incredible. But I don't know. I have no idea what that was. He didn't trip.
Mm-mm.
He didn't slip. He didn't get confused.
He
went in for a spear-headed tackle and then just buckled.
He had a major lapse in judgment.
And knocked his own guy down in the process that maybe could have caught up and saved the touchdown. It was unbelievable. And people are like, hey, can you blame the loss on one guy? And all the sports writers were like, normally not, but on this one, I think we can, because that is the
They could have
play.
prevented it. But
That's the play that you train for hours over your career to be able to make, and you flop.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Saints, Sean Payton, coach of the Saints, not only was he mocking the Vikings crowd, which he also
saying
did,
like skull
clap. Yeah, he did that, and then they obviously got beat. He also did that earlier in the season with the Falcons when they were up 28-3. They also got beat.
Oh, so he was asking
that game. Yeah, and so there's a lot of negative press on Sean Payton out there right now. You know who he looks like? He looks like the guy from Malcolm in the Middle, Frankie Muniz. That's Frankie
when he
grows up.
When he's like 35, 40,
Yeah, it's Malcolm.
50. I thought he was amazing in Agent Cody Banks.
So for so for you guys, if you haven't seen Malcolm in the Middle, it's a pretty funny show from years ago. It's got some pretty awesome all-star casts like Bryan Cranston, Chris Masterson, Hayden Panettiere, who also was in Heroes that ruined her career.
Wasn't she also in Remember the Titans?
She was in Remember the Titans, and then she was on Malcolm in the Middle. She started building her career, and then she went on she went on some other show, and then she went on Heroes, and like people just couldn't relate to her. She's like, she looks like she's 12, but she's kind of really attractive at the same time. And people are like, I kind of feel weird about this. Yep. And so they just click off, and the ratings were horrible, and she never salvaged her career.
And Bryan Cranston, he just had a revival in his career. Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I haven't seen one episode.
You haven't watched Breaking Bad?
I haven't.
You need to get on it.
I told you I'm not a movie guy.
Hey, you have my mom's sign-in information. Breaking Bad is one of those things like where even though all the episodes are on whether it's Netflix or Hulu, I will buy seasons 1 through 5, 6, and I will let you borrow them. It's a great show.
Okay, guys, let's get into the meat of the conversation, which is the GOAT. The GOAT, Tom Brady. This week, he became the oldest quarterback ever to win a postseason game in
Ever.
NFL history.
Ever?
He's 40 years old.
40.
Oldest quarterback ever to win a postseason game.
Man.
For 40 years old. That dude looks pretty good.
My dad was already a father of 4 when he was 40.
Your dad's a football player as well.
Oh, he is.
And
He
a
is.
pilot. He played with Andre Ware down at the University of Houston.
You have a great memory.
Oh, man. I know my people.
That's pretty good.
My people. Tom Brady. He's been to the AFC Championship 12 out of 17 attempts. He's been to the Super Bowl 7 times and won it 5. He's married to Giselle. What sound does a Giselle make?
Giselle's the razor company, right?
No, that's Gillette.
Oh,
Like
Gillette.
Stadium.
My bad.
Yeah, I know it's hard to keep them all
Right.
apart.
Giselle's the antelope.
What sound does a Giselle make in the wild?
What sound does a Giselle make? In the...
Here's the thing about Brady, though, you guys may not know. He makes $7 million a year on endorsements. Who is paid higher than him on endorsements in pro football?
That's unbelievable.
Who makes higher than him?
Judge Judy.
No, in football.
Oh, in football.
But good guess. Random answer of the week.
In the NFL,
Peyton Manning.
Peyton
Manning makes
of
$12
course he
million
does.
a year on endorsements.
Nationwide is on
Tom
your
Brady
side.
makes $7 million a year. When I did my research on Tom Brady, he was named in Shape Magazine's article about sexy athletes. 25 sexiest athletes in the NFL. I want your opinion on this.
Well, I voted, so I agree.
The hottest NFL players on the field this season. Eric Decker, Tennessee Titans.
Man, that smile, though.
That dude's pretty sexy.
And that jawline.
Eric Decker's Beau's nodding his head like, let's see what else is in the pot.
Yeah, I mean, this is a list, you know. I don't want
Tom Brady,
jump
New
the
England
gun.
Patriots.
There he is.
Colin Kaepernick? I mean, I don't think I would have put Colin Kaepernick. He looks a lot better without the fro. How about Clay Matthews from the Green Bay Packers?
That one, that
Pretty
guy's
hot.
got hair. That guy's got hair for days.
He looks like Thor.
He does.
Or He-Man.
He absolutely does.
I
It's
saw
a
him when
shame
I
he
was
didn't play for the Vikings.
younger. I was like, that's He-Man. And then we got Reggie Bush and Cam Newton, both very attractive men. I don't know how Brock Osweiler made the list, though.
Was he runner-up, or is he just in the list?
No, he's on the list.
He's in the list. Wow. He kind of looks gangly there.
I think that got thrown in as a joke. Jimmy Garoppolo, who was with the New England Patriots.
Yeah, they had 2 great-looking quarterbacks. They had to get
Look
rid
at
of
that
half of
jawline.
it, so they got rid of the young blood.
Danny Amendola also with the Patriots. There's just too much sexy on one team.
Man,
How do they focus
is
on
that
football?
why they've been just killing it?
Jason
Witten, the old faithful, great 8-2. Man,
Julian Edelman, New England Patriots.
of course Julian Edelman would be on there.
That makes, 4 for the Patriots? Lastly, Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah,
New
Rob
England
Gronkowski is like the frat boy of the NFL. He's doing all the things that you would expect your younger brother's fraternity to be doing.
So obviously we didn't go through all of those. There were some that literally, I'm not sure why they were on the list, but the question is Tom Brady the most attractive player of all time? Some people say he tries too hard. His hair was long at one point, which did not look good. And then Giselle started coming into the picture, so he really started cleaning up his look. I think he's one of the most attractive guys out there, honestly.
I mean, if Giselle was heading into the picture, sure, I can see why you'd want to clean up your act for all that.
Let me give you a little bit of stats on Tom Brady. 5-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time Super Bowl MVP, 2 times NFL Most Valuable Player, 2 times NFL Offensive Player of the Year, Associated Press Male Athlete of the Year.
Good Lord.
Across all sports. 3 times NFL Passing Yards Leader, 4 times NFL Passing Touchdown Leader, 2 times NFL Passer Rating Leader, 2000's All-Decade Team, and even won a national championship in 1997 with Michigan. What else can this guy add to his resume?
Is there anyone on the list who even comes close to touching any of that?
He is only one of 2 players to win 5 Super Bowls. Who was the other one?
Was Charles Haley?
Charles Haley.
Hey,
Ding, ding, ding.
that
Beau
Dallas
knows his football
with the
history.
Dallas Cowboys, right? Well, a couple of them.
But he's the only player to win all 5 of them with one team. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
After playing college football for the University of Michigan in the Big House, Brady was drafted by the Patriots in the 6th round. 6th round.
6th round. And by the way, also, I don't know if you have this in your notes or anything, but did you know that he was also drafted for the MLB in 1995?
I did not.
He was drafted in the 18th round by the Montreal Expos.
I had no idea.
Montreal Expos. They're not even around anymore, so good choice, Tom.
Wow. So, I mean, this is just unbelievable. How did this guy go from 199th pick in the draft to the GOAT.
Man, to be honest, sometimes it's just right place, right time. But then also, I know I read.
I don't know, dude. That right place and right time doesn't equate to what this guy's doing. He's 26-9.
Well, but to get noticed is what I mean.
I mean,
in
right
high
place
school,
and right time. It's like, hey, right place and right time. I picked up a lotto ticket on the sidewalk. This guy is 26-9 in the postseason, winning more playoff games than any other quarterback in NFL history. He's never had a losing season as a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's ridiculous.
If you've ever had to play the Patriots in the postseason, you don't love the guy because he goes out there and he just does what he needs to do.
I'm going to post a website for you guys in the show notes called Tom Brady is Drowning in His Own Pseudoscience. So you guys know that I love how the brain works. I love how just everything in the body works toward peak performance. But there is an article out there about Tom Brady in his book, The T12 Method, that literally breaks down science and how he is still 40 years old performing at one of the highest levels on any athletic stage in the world. Here's the cool thing about Brady, or maybe not so cool if you're playing him. Cool. So check this out, Beau. Since 2007, when Tom Brady has been sacked 0 or 1 times, he's got an 85% win rate.
That's way too high.
When he's been sacked 2 to 3 times, he's got a 75.4% win rate. And when he's been sacked 4 times or more, he still has a 61.9% winning rate since 2007.
Which is still above 50%.
Which is filthy ridiculous.
It is pretty filthy ridiculous.
If you're an AFC team, here's the deal, guys. If you're an AFC team, your first priority of anything that you do after finding a quarterback, because that's pretty key, right? Your first second priority. If you're going to win at the big show, you've got to get through. It seems like the Patriots every single year, and you're not going to make it to the Super Bowl if you can't get pressure on Brady. But here's the sad thing and the depressing thing for those guys. Right. Even if you sack him 4+ times in a game,
he still has an over 50% chance of winning the game.
Yeah, it's almost 62%.
That's crazy. All right, put Charles Haley on that pass rush.
Stumbling, bumbling, fumbling.
I mean, other quick hits that I found on Tom Brady, I mean, I'm sure this kind of goes without saying, but I just think it's worth mentioning. Winningest QB of all time in the NFL. Nobody has won more games than Tom Brady. I want to say he also has led the most comeback victories, so he's super clutch, which is to be expected from the winningest quarterback.
I know John Elway held that stat at one point.
Yeah, John Elway, I mean, I'm sure at one point, but Tom Brady, I think, is just, I mean, he's been playing longer than Elway anyway, so, I mean, he's got more shot to do it.
Wow. Sure if you knew that. You know, it's funny. You look back at Tom Brady, you go back into the archives and you look at his first year in the NFL, everybody's making fun of him because he's such a soft, dumpy body. and the thing is, he still does advertising.
Sexiest NFL athletes list.
But he still does advertising for Under Armour. You know, Under Armour was like, we must protect this house. And then there's Tom Brady. We're going to protect this house. And Beau, everything comes back to Donald Trump. Brady is a friend of President Donald Trump. And in 2017, Brady indicated he had known Trump for 16 years. We're really good friends, like the best. At a political event in New Hampshire, the day before the presidential election, Trump said he had received a call from Brady and that Brady told him, Donald, I support you. You're my friend. And I voted for you. After a Trump campaign Make America Great Again cap was photographed in Brady's locker, Brady said that Giselle told him not to discuss politics anymore, which he thought was a good decision. Who wears the pants in that relationship? Mr. GOAT of all time. She's like, do not talk about the politics. He's like, that's a good decision.
Yeah, I can see where it would be smart being a public figure and not wanting to get into that stuff too deeply.
While there has been speculation that Brady would run for political office in the future, in a 2015 interview, he stated he had no interest in doing so. Well, yeah, I mean,
he's kind of killing it in what he's doing right now.
Yeah, let's just keep him there.
Yeah, let's just keep the $7 million from the strict advertisement money going and just roll with that. Winningest quarterback of all time. How can you compete with that?
You can't. Unless you're Giselle. Go make me a sausage dinner. I know when a dude with that many stats says he's best friends with somebody, he supports somebody, he calls somebody the night before the election, and his wife says, do not talk about the politics. And he goes, that's a good idea. And then he just goes out and does what he does. I mean, somebody wears the pants there, and I don't think it's the GOAT.
So going back to what we've been doing during the existence of this podcast, really, which is 1 week old. we want to talk about history. History. What has happened today in history? So I have compiled a couple of things. Popular birthdays.
Oh, go for it.
Starting in 1706, birth of Benjamin Franklin. Do you know today was the birthday?
I did not know.
Of the man. By the way, this is January 17th as well. So Benjamin Franklin, man with the face on the $100 bill.
I love Benjamins.
1899, so a little bit after, Al Capone.
Al Capone.
Born today in 1899.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Other birthdays, 1922, Betty White, born Jan 17.
Betty White, who's still making
the
movies.
Golden Girl, still kicking it.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. My heart is true. You're a friend and a confidant.
We're just going to let him go.
If you're through a party.
That was amazing. 1995, very recent. My younger brother, Wade Coleman.
Wade. Hey, Wade.
Coleman. You met Wade. You met Wade around Christmas time this year.
Man. I did. Wade was pretty funny.
Wade was funny.
Was he funnier than you?
He is. Wade is the funnier of the three of us.
Oh, man.
So let's wrap up the podcast. Things that happened in history today. 1773, Captain James Cook became the first to cross the Antarctic Circle.
Wow.
Yes.
I know Captain James Cook from his expeditions to Hawaii.
He had a ton of expeditions. He was all over the freaking globe.
He got around.
He did. He got around. 1912, Captain Robert Scott's expedition to become the first to reach the South Pole.
Did he reach it?
He arrived on this day in 1912, only to find that he was 30 days late. I don't have who beat him. I'm sorry. But he found out that he had been beaten by a month. I honestly don't know why I didn't put who beat him, but he was beaten by a month. And to add insult to injury, nobody made it home. They all passed with hypothermia and exhaustion.
He just gave up.
Mm-hmm.
All that heartache, and you realize someone got there 30 days earlier, you probably just lay down in the snow and died.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Like they all died from hypothermia, being frozen, and exhaustion on the way back.
There is nothing worth living any longer.
It didn't go well.
I shall lay here in the snow.
It didn't go well at all. And then also, finally, January 17th, 1991, Operation Desert Storm began.
Wow. Man, as a kid, I literally would run around in my yard with toy guns and camouflage on, and every day I literally pretended like I was in
Operation Desert Storm. Shout out to my wife's father, so my father-in-law, David Buster.
David Buster's?
Yes.
That's an awesome place.
David Buster is my father-in-law. He was in Operation Desert Storm and served for our country, so thank you, and shout out to him.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you for your service.
Yep. Anyone else you can think of?
My cousin, Jeff Warren, was in that service.
Thank you, Jeff. Awesome.
Thank you for your service. And all who serve out there, thank you so much for our freedoms that you protect. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to connect with us, shoot an email to our team at info@success101podcast.com or catch us both on Facebook or Instagram. We'll catch you next time on another awesome episode
of The Rundown.